I thought today is a little bit of something different. I'd show you my centrifuge. I made this a long time ago. It's actually for stripping vegetable oil. When you get dirty vegetable oil, you put it through this machine, and the principle of it all is you drip feed it from the top, and then as it's going round really fast, the solids get stuck to the sides, and then the clean liquid will raise to the top and over the side, and then goes in this catchment area into a jug down at the bottom. Now, it's quite a clever design. It's not my design. I just bought the centrifuge drum because that was made on a CNC, but I made all the rest. Now, if you look inside, you see there's a piece of steel, a round tube here that separates the two. Now, obviously, in here, you can see there's 3 holes. So when this stops spinning, the oil will then collapse and go through those 3 holes into the bottom of here, and then into a collection bucket underneath. It's very clever. Now, the thing is, you need to have, this is quite thick, this is 1/4 inch steel, because if this spins around and explodes, well, you'll soon know about it. So it's confined to the sides. So I'm going to just lift that up a little bit. Right, a little bit, there we go. Tighten that down, tighten that bushing down. Make sure it spins freely. Put the cap on. Just give it a little nip. That's all it needs. And that's it. So when we drip feed through here, the oil will get centrifugally forced to the outside and then over the top and into the collection bucket. Now, if you look down here, I've only just set this up with ATF, and I haven't got any nice clean hose. I've only got the dirty veg oil, but it's just to give you a demo and show you how it works. So the clean oil will run through here into this container here, which isn't the cleanest of containers, but I'm sort of a bit of a rush because I've got some jobs to do. Now, underneath here, this is where the inside oil, when it falls off the sides of the centrifuge, will fall into that bucket there, and then we can collect it and use it again. Easy, eh? So what we're going to do, we're going to put the top on. There's the top. Now, believe me, you need the top on because it'll spray all over. And it is a messy job. We get a funnel, and again, the funnel isn't the cleanest of funnels, but this is just for a demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do you a really good demo. Let me get some oil prepped up. One of our worst enemies when we were doing vegetable oil was water. You don't want humidity or any moisture in your veg oil, but because the water's heavier than the oil, it will actually spray to the outside really easy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a quick demo, and I'm going to put some dirty oil here in this bucket. Let me see if I can. This has got water in it and a stick, and I'm going to just pour a bit of this mucky old oil in. Like that. And I'm going to set the machine running. The downside of this machine is it takes quite a lot of liquid to fill it up before it starts working, so that's why I'm using this one first. And you can see the oil's floating on top of the water. There's the container. It's got a bit of residual oil in from when I was doing testing, but there's no water in it. Now normally what I do with this is I'll set it up and drip feed it with a bucket. A little tap, and I just drip feed it ever so slow. The slower the better. see it spraying oil out. See? And then we'll start to see it collect in this container here. Stick. Bit of a bolt in there. Probably can't see the stuff that's going in, but you can see how dark it is. Now this oil is from when I've been testing power steering pumps. So I use it over and over again, but the centrifuge means I can use that old oil again without using new stuff. So that's running through now. It's running all over the place. I need to make a sort of a baffle round this with a tap coming down to go back into the bucket. There's just oil everywhere. But like I say, normally I drip feed this from a bucket and then it goes into here. Now, let's have a look at this. So that's the clean oil that's come out, but you can see it's aerated, it's all foamy. So we'll leave that to settle. But I have one here. Here's one I did earlier. And I'll see if I can hold it against the light. I don't know if you can see that. It's crystal clear. Ah, perfect. I'll try and get a flashlight and show you. There's still a little bit of air in this one, but you can see there's no water, there's no granules, there's nothing in there. So that's stripped that out. So what we're going to do next is show you what happens when we turn the machine off. So watch what happens when we turn this off. Takes a little bit of time because it does spin rather fast, and of course you've got a lot of weight in there now. It'll suddenly collapse. You can see the water, look. There she goes. And then now that'll drop down into the bucket at the bottom. And you can see all the rubbish and and stuff in there. So that's emulsified as that oil. But well, let's see what happens when it gets drained off a bit better. You can see the water particles in there. How's that? That's better, isn't it? But most importantly, look at all the dirt that it's stripped out, look. Isn't that amazing? Now the TD5 has the same idea. It's got a centrifugal filter and it's got a paper filter. Just makes the filters nice and clean, so you don't have to change them so often. And then look, you can see there's a bit of a fly in there somewhere, and then there's a bit of stick. It's a lot more practical if you're doing a lot of volume to use this than paper filters. You'll be getting through hundreds of paper filters. Yeah, that's quite gummy. So that's dropped out into the bottom. But what we can do is we can keep on filtering it over and over again. You know, running it through the machine. Say, look at that, it caught that piece. You don't want that. When we were doing the veg oil, we were sometimes using hydrogenated vegetable oil, and this used to get so kicked up, it was unbelievable. We had to keep stopping the machine. So we switched to canola oil, and we didn't have much of a problem after that. But the canola oil, when we got the oil, they used to wash it out. And used to get they used to wash the cookers out, and it used to get contaminated with water. Well, this was the best way of stripping out the water. Now you can see in there, let me get a piece of paper towel. And you can see there the dirt that's accumulated. And it's really fine. It's really fine stuff, you know. So that'll get rid of all the dirt. So you're going to ask yourself, well, why the hell am I messing about with this? Well, the simple reason is, there's always a simple reason, isn't there? When I was cleaning up my shed, I found 50 litres of old gear oil. Well, it was brand new gear oil, but it had got water in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this machine and slowly drip the gear oil into this machine and let it run so we can get some nice clean gear oil. Gear oil is particularly difficult to filter because it's thick. I just used the ATF because it was red and it was easy to show you. But I'm going to clean all this lot out. Again, it doesn't matter, the stuff that's in the middle here, it doesn't matter, because as soon as you start it up, it'll go to the outsides again. There you go. And then it'll just do the same thing over and over again. So I hope you like that. It's a way you can salvage oil. Now somebody's going to ask me, can you salvage engine oil? Well, probably you could. But the problem with the engine oil's got a lot of additives in it. And the reason why we change oil is to keep the additives topped up. You know, they break down after a period of time, the anti-corrosion, anti-foaming, anti-this and that and the other. But with diesel oil, it gets a lot of carbon in it. Now, I did experiment once trying to clean up diesel oil, but it takes longer on the electric than it was to get new oil. So it wasn't really worth it. You couldn't get the particles of carbon out because they're so small, they get suspended in the oil, and it's the same sort of molecular weight almost, I know it isn't, but as the oil, so it doesn't really do anything. But water and things like that, as you can see there, it pulls it out. And if we look in the bucket at the bottom, let's have a look. Let's get the hose out. You know, the one thing about this shop is Never have enough containers. Yeah, you can't see that water I put in because it's got all emulsified, but it's in here. But if we keep running this through the machine, eventually it will become clear. But just before I finish this video, I'll come back to the stuff that we cleaned up because it gets air into the oil as it's being sprayed around. It does become foamy, but I'm going to show you at the end of the day what that jug of oil actually looked like. The real one. No, I'm not faking this. So we'll see you in a bit. I ran this, this was the sample with the water in, and I ran it through a couple of times just to clear it up, and I'm just holding it across this white box here. It's very difficult to film because it's got the sun's just gone in, but you can probably see there it's lovely and clear. Great to be using for testing purposes, but again it was new oil but not used, so I'm not using the vehicle, but it was good enough to use for testing purposes again. So anyway, that's the centrifuge. It's a nice little thing to have if you've got a lot of oil that's sort of contaminated, or even diesel that's contaminated with muck and rubbish. You can soon strip it all out. Anyway, I hope you like that. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.